Hi, my name's Nick. I work with Tracy Aviary in the Education Department, and welcome to this mini-series on beginning birding. So it's going to be a three-part series. The first is going to be about binoculars, the second will be about bird identification, and the third will be about documenting your bird sightings. So without further ado, let's get started with binoculars. Binoculars can be used in a lot of different activities. Some people use them in sporting events, for whale watching, for astronomy, and finally what I'm going to be talking about is birding. So what I'd like to do is talk about some of the technical specifications of binoculars so that you can kind of understand if you're paying more, what are you paying for, and a couple of things to consider when looking at binoculars are what is your eyesight like? Do you have good eyes? Do you have bad eyes? Do you wear glasses or contacts on a regular basis? And do you have a certain price range that you want to stick to? So these are all things to consider, and I'm hoping to give you some information to go out and start your shopping if that's what you want to do. So this is my pair of binoculars, and what I'd like to do first is point out some of the common terms around what parts of the binoculars are called what. So this right here is what you look out of, and it's called the lens piece. This part that comes out and retracts is called the eye cup, and this is used for people with glasses. This right here is the main focusing ring, and this is what you use to adjust seeing things far and close. This one right here is called the dioptic ring, and it's just for adjusting the clarity of your right eye. So I'll show you how to adjust these later. This is called the hinge in the middle here, and this is how you're going to separate the binoculars to fit the length between your eyes. And finally, this is called the objective lens, what you look out of. So what I'd like to do first is kind of show you some of the specifications that are on my binoculars. So you can see right here that we have an 8x42, we have a 7.2 degrees, you see it says waterproof. And so let's get into talking about what these technical specifications are. So that first number, 8x42, is the magnification and the objective lens diameter. So two common types of magnification are times 8 and times 10. Some of the trade-offs between having 8 and 10, if you have 10 times magnification, you can see things a lot further, but also if your hands are really shaky, then a 10 times magnification will take those shakes and just magnify them and make them even harder to see. So that's why I went with 8 times magnification, is because I have really shaky hands. The next one, 42, is the objective lens diameter in millimeters, and this is important because it determines how much light is able to be captured into the objective lens for just clarity of the image and just the coloration of what you're seeing, and also the field of view. So yeah, that's it about objective lenses. So first, let's talk about how to adjust your binoculars to have a very clear image of what you want to see. So the first thing you want to do is pick a stationary object. It can be literally anything, and what you want to do is you want to adjust your center hinge until you can see a very clear image through your left eye, right? So what you want to do is only look through the left one, and you want to adjust this until you can see your image clearly. Then what you want to do is cover up your left eye and look through your right eye, and you want to adjust this dioptic ring until your right eye can see a very clear image of the same object. After you do those two things, both eyes should be adjusted so that you can see your image clearly. And from there, all you need to do is adjust your center focusing ring to adjust between seeing things far away and seeing things close up. The next thing I want to talk about is how to properly hold your binoculars. So what you want to do is grab your binoculars with 2 hands, and what you want to do is keep your elbows in. And what this will do is keep your arms stable so that you can see your object without moving your hands around too much. A lot of people will take their thumbs and put them on their cheekbones to also keep it there. So, kind of play around, see what works for you, see what's comfortable for you. And what I like to do is keep one finger on this center focusing wheel so that I can easily adjust it to see whatever I want to, basically. The next thing I want to talk about is aiming. So one of the frustrating things about being a beginning birder is that you don't have much experience using your binoculars. So you might see a bird in the distance, and as soon as you put up your binoculars to your eyes, they're pointed somewhere that's not where the bird is, and then you have to kind of shift around until you find the bird, and sometimes the bird's already gone. So I encourage you to practice this. It's one of those things where practice makes perfect. The last thing I want to do is talk about proper maintenance of your binoculars. So after you're done using your binoculars, I recommend taking a brush and getting off any of the dust or the sand or the dirt, anything that's left on there, because you don't want to make any scratches on the lenses, because then it will affect how you view through your binoculars in the future. Another thing that you want to do is store your binoculars in a cool and a dry place. So you don't want to leave your binoculars in your car if the weather's really hot, because it will damage it. You also don't want to leave it in the freezing cold, and you also don't want to leave it in a very humid environment. So whether you're using a plastic baggie or a certain satchel to keep it, I recommend storing it in a safe place, somewhere that's cool, somewhere that's dry, so that you can continue to use them for years on end. So that's all I have for maintenance. So that's all I had on binoculars for today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you stay tuned for the next part, which is about bird identification. All right, have a good day.